Hey guys, this is No Solution. I'm Scott, and I'm doing a video today for my friend at Thor's Musichammer. His name is Jacob, and he's trying to get to 200 subs with this thread where you spell the name of another VC channel. If you're not familiar with Jacob, he, if some people think I'm eclectic, he makes me seem very one-dimensional. He goes all over the map. In the same video, you might see the new Autopsy and then the new Miley Cyrus. He's very much a fan of female-fronted bands and female singers as well. So I tried to tailor my picks to that. If I couldn't do that, I tried to tie it into females in some way. So the channel I'm gonna spell is Tony at Tainted Lord 87. So we'll just get right into it. For T, I chose Tales. I already forgot. Tales of a Librarian. Tori Amos. This is a kind of a best of collection, but it has different mixes and different edits of a lot of the songs. So it's of note for Tori fans, and if you don't know much about Tori or where to start, this is a good place to jump in, I think. Next, I chose Anathema. It's just the album I pulled out, A Sort of Homecoming. In their, I guess you would say, modern era, they added a full-time female vocalist, Lee Douglas, who is the brother of their drummer, John, and she's fantastic. So, this is a sort of a semi-acoustic evening performed in a church, and she really shines on this one. All right, next, the album I chose was from Turbo Negro. This is Hot Cars and Spent Contraceptives. I believe it's kind of a comp of a bunch of their early stuff before Hank joined the band. And I chose a song from this. I'm in Love with the Destructive Girls. That song title always resonated with me. I always thought that was really cool. And a lot of us can identify with that, particularly in our younger, dumber years. So that's my I. For N, I chose this live album from The Gathering. It's called A Noise Severe. This is the final release with Annika van Giersbergen before she left, and focuses more on their heavy material. They've done kind of semi-acoustic stuff live before, but yeah, I believe this is available pretty cheap and well worth a listen if you are interested in The Gathering and want to hear kind of their heavier side. Okay, and we're on to T. I chose the self-titled album from Nivina. I believe she's Serbian. I think she was like an American Idol type, Serbian Idol, whatever, singer. And this is her kind of hard rock album that she put out last year. All the songs written by Michael Pallas. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's kind of a modern AOR type guy. He's done his own albums. He writes a lot of music for other bands on the Frontiers label. So if you're familiar with the Frontiers label, you kind of know what kind of music it is. But this is a really fun album, and I just chose the song Too Late for T. This isn't going to blow your doors off, but it's really a fun album. And I got to admit, if you've watched the videos of her dancing around in her underwear singing the songs, it probably adds a little bit to it. Next, I chose Nashville Pussy, their EP Eat More Pussy, for the letter E. Just a short little thing. I think it was a promo given out at some point with the debut album. And for D, I chose the one and only album from Thor's Hammer. Dama Dagsnat, I'll say. I'm sure I butchered that. Just a really fantastic doom band. Decibel actually had a write-up about how this album came about. It's a pretty interesting read. Short version is, this girl was an exchange student from Norway, and was kind of in a friend group with a bunch of metalheads. The guys who ended up forming Sun, aka Sun O, and they just got together and banged out this album super quick. And I think they played one show, and then she went home, and that was the end of it. So if you're into Doom, Death Doom, Thor's Hammer is definitely worth checking out. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it. All right, so that was Tainted. Now we're on to The Lord. I chose Lissy, her new album, Carving Canyons. She's a fantastic female singer-songwriter. little bit in the folky vein, can veer into rock at times, but I'm a big fan of hers. All right, not female fronted, but shall we say female featuring, the band On Top. This is their debut, Top Heavy, and that lady can definitely be described as top heavy. Kind of glam sleaze rock. Came out on Horror Pain Gore Death. If you're into that style, the songs are cool and it's a really fun listen. Next, a female fronted band, Savage Master. This is their debut, Mask of the Devil, and I chose for the letter R the song The Ripper in Black, one of their kind of signature songs they usually play live. I think I've brought this band up a ton, but if you haven't listened to them, I highly suggest it. Awesome traditional metal, awesome live. Yeah, their new album is awesome. They just came out, I think, last year. Check out Savage Master. This is one that I feel like I'm the only person in the world who liked this album. The band is Tapping the Vein, and the album is called The Damage, so that's my D for the letter. This came out 2002 on Nuclear Blast. Kind of a bit industrial tinged metal with a female singer, Heather O'Rourke, who did some backing vocals around this time for Paradise Lost. Her band opened for Paradise Lost on the U.S. tour, and she is now married to Greg of Paradise Lost. So I don't know if this band is... I assume this band is on ice. They put out one thing later, but I haven't even heard it or seen it. But yeah, really catchy, fun kind of industrial metal with a female singer. And then we got the 87. What do you do for the 87? So I decided to find an album that was released in 1987. So I have this collection of the 4 Warlock albums, I Rule the Ruins, and the final Warlock album, Warlock, I mean, it was basically Doro's first solo album, but they called it Warlock. Triumph and Agony from 1987. I'm sure everybody knows this and already has their opinion on it, but not my favorite of the Warlock albums, but for an 80s commercial sort of glammy metal album, you really can't get much better than this, in my opinion. So that was my 87. So that's Tainted Lord 87. Anyone who wants to jump on this and keep the thread going, I'm sure Jacob would appreciate it. And yeah, I guess that's it for this one. So as always, CM Punk is a piss baby. Later.